Okay, so when it comes to advertising properties on Google AdWords, you really want to have about 2 or 3 ads that'll pick up the people that are searching in various ways. So think about the ways that people might come across your property. So the first one is people drive past it. So they know the address and they go searching for it. So with this ad, what you want to do is you want to have the details of the property in the description. In the headline too, you want to have what it is, so that this is still helping them to recognize it, and the price. You're giving them the information they want. And then in the title up here, you want to actually have the address of the property. Now don't forget to geo-target with this, because we only want to show 2 properties in this area. So you need to do a radius around the property or around the suburb of the property, and you only advertise in that area. Now, the second category of people that are going to look for your property are ones that see it, say, in a newspaper ad or in your window of your real estate agency. And in that particular location, you probably don't include the address. So what you're going to do, those people are going to search for a Brunswick house for sale. Now don't forget, your actual URL is going to have your brand. It's not going to have example.com. That's going to help them recognize that it's you. Okay? And the 4-bedroom is going to help them recognize that it's probably the one they're looking at in the window or in the newspaper. Now this particular ad you can use for each house, because you've got the price. So the $549,000, they're going to go, oh, that's the one. Yeah, it's $549. Okay, so it's important with this type of ad, where you're trying to drive inquiry from newspaper and from agency windows, that you do, very important, that you include that price in the heading there. And I suggest you leave it in the second heading. So that's 2 examples of ads that you're going to have. Now the last one is a more generic one, and this is if you want to keep using the same ad. And what you would do is the URL you'd link to, say, your 4BR houses page. Okay, now if you have a search function, you'd do a search for 4-bedroom houses, and then you'd use the URL that came up for that from your website. So you'd put Brunswick houses for sale, 4-bedroom house, 6 available. And then what you would do is you'd modify this down here to say something like, you'd have something generic like Brunswick houses for sale, 4-bedroom houses. I changed that to 6. And then what you do is you just have stunning 4-bedroom homes available in Brunswick, Victoria. View more details. Okay, now then what you'd need to do if you're going to run this type of ad, which I definitely prefer you run the other 2, but if you're going to use this type of ad, what you need to do, you would split test and test this, and if it worked well, you could leave it running. But I think what you'll find is that the other 2 perform much better. They just take a little bit longer to set up. That's all. And then what you'd do is you'd need a version of this. So you'd need, like, say, 1 available, and then you'd need a second ad, 2 available, and another ad, 3 available, and another ad, 4 available. And then what you do is, as your property numbers change, you simply pause and enable each ad. Now the reason you have to do that is obviously you want a bit of accuracy in your ad, so that people trust you. You don't want them not trusting you. You don't want to advertise that you've got 7 or 10 when you've only got, say, 4. Now if you're going to use this type of ad, the other reason that you need to do that is so that you can pause your ads, because if you come in and change your ads, AdWords deletes your statistics, so then you can't track the performance of your ads over time. So what keeps happening is your other ads would have all their data, but this one here, every time you came in and edited, you'd lose all your performance data. So I strongly suggest that if you are going to go down this track, that you set up, 1 to 10 or whatever a range of 4-bedroom houses you would normally have. Now if you do prefer that more generic approach, one of the things you can do for it is create ad extensions. And so what you would do here is you would have, so your first ad up the top would say, Brunswick homes for sale, 4 bedrooms, 6 to choose from or something. And then in here you would list the addresses like this, 47 Tilapia Street. And then you might go 37 Braden Avenue. Okay, and I see those appearing up here, and this is what's going to appear under the main ad. And now bear in mind you can only have I think it's around about 8. Yep, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can only have 8 per suburb if you do it this way, 8 extensions. So if I was going to do it this way, what I would be doing, if you often have more than 8 4-bedroom houses, I would be charging this as a premium product to your vendor, because you can only fit 8 there. And I can't work out a way other than running multiple ads. But the problem with running multiple ads is that if they click on the wrong ad or they do the wrong search, they're not going to see the address here. And remember, this technique is all about giving people the information they want as soon as they search for it. So you just list all your ads, and then you get a little tiny description here of 25 characters, which isn't very long. So now don't forget, in AdWords, they don't let you abbreviate much. You can try, but they will generally stop you. So instead of saying bedroom, you can say bed, because that's a real word, but they probably wouldn't like you saying BR. It's not a word. You should have to go 3 bed, 3 car, 2 bath. Right? And then you've got 7 characters left. And you could go, your price, you go, and now it's going to automatically change that to a K for you. Okay, so what you're going to do is add the 3 zeros, and it's going to change it to a K for you, which is perfect. Right, so they abbreviate, but they just don't let you abbreviate. Now that's all I would leave it at, and then they're going to straight away go, oh yep, that's the one, and they're going to click through. Now, if you do use this method, you want to give them the URL not just to your real estate website. You want to send them to the exact link for that property. And if you have a mobile version of that, then you include that there. If you don't, leave that one blank. Now, if you want to change the order of these cards, then you simply use those little arrows there. Sometimes also when you're typing, these won't update live. If they don't, just swap the order and they'll automatically update. So that's our little hack on using AdWords for properties. I strongly really do suggest that you use that first 2 ad versions that we showed you, where you do include the address. But if you don't want to use that, then using the more generic 3rd ad and these ad extensions can be very effective.